Quebec-based convenience store chain Couche-Tard pulling its $47 billion takeover bid for 7-Eleven's parent company. The breakdown described as a persistent lack of good faith engagement. The move shuts down a year-long attempt by Couche-Tard to create a global convenience store giant of 20,000 locations, merging Circle K and 7-Eleven brands. BNN Bloomberg's Paul Bagnell joins me now with more. So let's start with this Couche-Tard deal. Paul, now off the table.
That's right. Couche-Tard has been talking about this for about a year and trying to push this not just over the finish line, but really getting it to the point where the Japanese company would talk seriously about the possibility of a takeover. And Couche-Tard is not happy today, Marcia. That Couche-Tard has issued a fairly angry statement saying that 7-I of Tokyo, which is the company that owns 7-Eleven, was never serious about talking about a takeover. And Couche-Tard says that's too bad because we think, Couche-Tard thinks, this would have been beneficial to 7-I shareholders. As you and most viewers know, when a takeover takes place, a corporate takeover, it almost always takes place at a higher price than the shares are trading at right now, at a premium is the phrase that the market uses. So shareholders tend to be winners when companies are taken over, at least in the short term. They get a higher price for their stock. In Japan, there has been a long history of companies and regulators in Japan not being very enthusiastic about foreign takeovers of Japanese companies. And this situation was watched very closely in the markets because it looked like perhaps there might be a thawing of that resistance to foreign takeovers, but not the case according to Couche-Tard. So it moves on now. Couche-Tard shareholders are happy about this. There was always concern about this huge takeover and how well Couche-Tard could execute on it. The shares of Couche-Tard are up about 9% today. That's an expression of relief by investors that Couche-Tard is going to move on now to its business of running gas stations and convenience stores and not doing this huge acquisition.
What are you seeing on the markets today?
They are up. They're up modestly. There's some strong results from one particular tech company, Taiwan Semiconductor, has reported a huge increase, 60% in profit versus the year-ago period. Demand for its artificial intelligence chips continues to boom.
Well, let's round this business conversation out with some personal business, yours. You are close to retirement. Yes. What, you're a day away?
1 day away. Tomorrow's my last day.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Is there a certain business story that has stood out to you as your favorite or the most challenging over your incredible almost 40-year career?
I can tell you that when I first became a business reporter at the Financial Post in the early 90s, the Bre-X gold mining scandal landed in my lap. I became the mining reporter at the Financial Post, and about a month later, this bombshell drops into my lap. And if viewers don't remember, the younger viewers may not know, but Bre-X was a company that said it was mining an enormous gold deposit in Indonesia, and the numbers would get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it was proven to all be a hoax. It turned out that a geologist was literally taking fragments of gold and throwing them into the samples that got analyzed in the exploration process. So the whole thing was a gigantic fraud. It was a bombshell of a story, and I'll never remember how frequently my phone rang at my desk. The other one, which I covered here at BNN Bloomberg, was the financial crisis of 2008. That was a scary time on markets. Big financial institutions in the United States were collapsing. Other financial institutions were forced into shotgun marriages by regulators, and there was a real sense of worry among ordinary Canadian investors. What is going to happen to my retirement income? What's happening to my retirement portfolio? And is the stock market simply a giant house of cards? Now, of course, things have recovered. Stock markets are multiples higher today than they were then, but it was a very scary time on markets back then.
What an amazing career you've had, and I personally want to thank you for always coming on, taking the most complicated stories and making them understandable so that our viewers get it. And separate from that, you've just always been a real gentleman. So a fabulous journalist, a fabulous reporter, and a wonderful human being. So all the best to you, Paul, in your retirement. You're going to be missed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Marcia. mutual feelings to you. You are an iconic Canadian broadcaster. It's been an honor to speak to you, and more importantly, I guess, to your viewers.
Big hugs to you. All the best, Paul.
Thanks a
You
lot.
take care.
Okay, bye-bye.